Hi, everybody. Nice to see you all. Hi, Thomas. How are you?
Good.
Oh, wow. This is great.
You feeling
Hi,
better?
Abby.
Are you feeling better?
Me? Yes.
Going on the air here.
Hi, Richard.
Hello. Hello, everybody.
How are you?
Hello, hello.
How nice to see you all.
Nice to see you.
Hello, Abby. Hello, Isa. Hello, Aki.
Hello,
Hi.
hello.
Right back, Sana.
Hi, Kamna.
Kamna, hello.
Hi,
Hi.
Hello.
hi, Kamna.
Hi.
Good.
Hi, Isa. Hi, Thomas.
Hello,
Hi,
Thomas.
Kim. Abby, hello.
Hi, Oksana.
Well, Steve just wrote us and he asked us how much time would he have because he wanted to share.
Hi, Charlotte.
I
How much you gonna give them?
yeah, right, that's a tough one. That's a
Hello,
tough one.
Steve.
Steve. Welcome.
Hi, everybody.
Steven.
Hi.
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 Welcome.
Good morning. Good morning for me, anyway.
Good
Evening for most of
Oh,
you.
Michelle.
Hello, guys.
Hello. Gosh, man, this has been so long.
Oh,
Yes.
Hello,
everybody. Hi, Steve. Hi, Isa.
Hi, Mihal.
Yes.
Richard and Oksana, that's Mihal we're talking about from Poland, who lives in Guangzhou.
Wow.
Are you in
Hello, Richard.
Guangzhou
Hi,
right now?
Oksana. Yes, I'm in
Yeah, well,
Guangzhou.
yeah.
It's middle of the night.
I was gonna say, what time is it there?
Yeah, it's almost
2
2 a.m.
2 a.m.
So I'm wearing quite a lot of clothes because this is middle of the night.
We
Oh.
Stephen, we took a vote and decided that you could have as much time as you like to share your ideas.
No, I would never want to do that.
It was a close vote, but we prevailed. So let the Irish come out.
How long are we scheduled to go?
There is no schedule. From here on, it's just whatever we want to do.
Well, I know
I think we're booked
we're
in for 2 hours.
we're all
Yeah.
busy, important people, so I'm
Mhm.
sure everybody else. Hi there, Abby. How are you?
Great, Steve. How are you?
Good, good. Charlotte, nice to see you.
Yeah,
Um,
so nice.
yeah. Is it 10, guys?
For whom?
About a minute to go,
1
and then it
minute.
will be
Yeah.
the hour.
All right,
Oh,
Richard Oksana, did
Hi,
you get a
It's 1 o'clock, not 10 o'clock. Get your clocks together.
Mary Masaro? My gosh,
Hi there.
God. I think of all the people on the screen, I've known Mary and Abby probably the longest. Huh?
I think so. It's the
Yeah.
white hair. That's how we know.
I knew Mary when she was 16 years old. too.
Well, that was yesterday kind of thing, right?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah.
Absolutely right. Yes.
Yay!
Hi, Molly.
Hi, Molly.
Hey!
Hi, Molly.
Hi, Molly.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening.
And
Hello, Molly.
I've known
Welcome.
Molly
Welcome.
for. I've
Hi,
known Molly
Cecile.
for.
Oh, hi, Cecile.
Hello, hello.
Bill.
Hello, Cecile.
Hi, Cecile. Richard, Oksana, how many people are presenting their art?
I think probably 7.
And we're talking 5 minutes each.
Well, it could be 5 minutes, but
It could be less too.
but you know, we always say 5 minutes, but it's not always actually 5 minutes.
Well, how about we just go around and each person just say their name and where they're from.
How about that? I like that.
So, Isa, you're in my upper left, so you want to go first?
Okay, sure. Hi, everybody. My name is Isa. I'm from Belgium. And I've been with the group and with Stephen ever since 2013 was the first time I met Stephen in China. And then I went to Trans Camp in San Diego. And now at home, as most people. So I'll be presenting my art later on as well.
Great.
So happy to be here.
Okay, so I don't know if you guys all see this.
Welcome
you.
is to
Welcome,
our
Isa.
Creative Mind Art Community meeting. Welcome everybody. I have a chance
Yeah.
to see you all, and I'm so glad we are meeting together because the last months when we meet like small group, and we just have a really big desire to get acquainted more and to see each other art and to share with each other how Stephen Gilligan's work was influential on our life and art. So welcome to everybody, welcome artists, and welcome our dear viewers too, our participants, and welcome Stephen. We are very happy to see you too.
Great, and I'm assuming you all know Richard and Oksana. They're my partners in Creative Mind. They live now in what is the name of the place? Aubergine?
Abkhazia.
Yeah, exactly. That's my point. But, Oksana is originally the Siberian quantum queen. I refer to her. So welcome. So let's just move along and just introduce ourselves. Kamna, you want to go next?
Introduce and then we can show art.
Yeah, that's right. Kamna?
Hi, I'm Kamna. I'm sitting in Oxford at home. I have never met Steve, but I have learned a lot from him. I met him on Zoom and I have done Creative Mind. And I think a lot of Steve's teachings are changing my life every day. Background is physics. I want to learn to paint. So that's me.
Welcome,
Okay.
Kamna.
Welcome.
Abby, I don't know if you all have the same distribution of screens that I do. I'm going across the top. No?
Yep.
Okay. Abby, you want to go?
Yeah. Hi, I'm Abby Miller. I am an art therapist, and I've been working and training with Steve since 1990. And my art has evolved and come into the world, and now is created in many different forms, but I'll be sharing a process called that I've named the Duende process painting that has been really powerful, moving, and really rich in lots of ways.
Celine and Dan.
Welcome,
Abby, by the way, if you don't
Celine.
know,
Welcome, Daniel.
Hello, Celine.
among the many artistic expressions of Abby, she did the painting on my genitive trance cover book. That's Abby's work. And she was actually probably the first artist to go full blown in the supervision groups, where there's some pretty intense processes. But I credit that to Abby giving birth to all that. So welcome, Abby.
Thank you.
Hey, Tom. Tom, I see you next.
I'm here. Hi, Tom Lyon. I'm Santa Maria, California, and I'm been to a number of trans camp weeks, and I don't know how to draw anything or paint anything. I've done pottery, but and I like to go to museums. So that's my claim. So I'm happy to be here, and I say hello to a few people I know, and Isa and Celine, I see you've jumped on, and very nice to see everyone.
Yeah. Okay. So let's move along. Mary Masaro.
Hi.
Yeah.
Hey. My name is Mary Masaro. I am presently a psychoanalyst. I say that because I got my doctorate not too long ago, 2009. But prior to that, I was a dancer and dance therapist, and then learned about Steve and started studying with him in 1989. So it's been a very long, joyous road, and I hate this pandemic. I'm happy to be here with all of you, but our residential supervision that I sponsor in North Carolina has been not happening 2 years now. And I wanted you to know that was a professional terminology that. Just to let you know that I'm so happy to be here with everybody and inspired by creative minds. We do our work through our souls. And so I'm so grateful to Steve. I live in New Jersey, but I'm presently in Florida. So, yeah.
The New York snowbirds, huh?
You got it. I wasn't ever, but I've become one now. I could work 10 hours a day right here doing my stuff. So
there's the great migration of the New York area people to Florida for the winter. Okay, Michał.
Hi, everybody. My name is Michał Kwakowski. I'm a Polish guy, recently living in China. I'm living here. I got married here. And I will tell you one session which I had with Stephen during Transcamp.
I cannot hear you.
I could. Somebody from Japan is connecting.
Did somebody say they can't hear him?
Yeah, so somebody is speaking behind the
I can hear you fine.
Yeah, I can hear fine.
We can hear you.
Yes, we can hear you.
Go ahead, Mia.
Okay, so after one session, one of the sessions with Steve, which I had during Transcamp, my heart took me here to China. I found a beautiful woman and get married in China. So I'm connecting with all of us from Guangzhou, from southeast part of China now. And this is middle of the night, 2 a.m. So you can see I'm wearing quite a lot of clothes.
I never associate cold with Guangzhou.
yeah, sometimes it is. Yeah. So I'm super happy to be here. I'm learning from Steve since 2009. I'm a psychologist, so I'm super curious what we can create together here.
Welcome. Charlotte, how about you?
Yeah, so I'm also super curious. I'm Charlotte from Germany. I'm living in southern Germany, Freiburg. And yes, I'm not sure how long I follow you, Steve, and your work, but it started with Gunther Schmidt, so also Milton Erickson student, so to say. And yes, I'm really excited about this gathering because I'm a lot into art and a lot into dance and movement. And yes, some years ago, it brought me to develop also a kind of process to work with people to make them express their inner, their soul through art. And I accompany them and I call it generative painting. So
yeah, is that that's one of your pieces behind you, right?
Yes.
Well, get out of the way.
I think there are some more to show tonight. So
yeah.
I'm very grateful to be invited. Thank you.
Charlotte is also one of the people who does all this art in the workshops. So she's really blossomed so extraordinarily with your artistic expression. Welcome, Charlotte.
Thank you.
Achim?
Hello, I'm Achim. I'm from Germany, but I'm in Edinburgh. I met Stephen, I think 5 years ago. Italy, in our ridiculously hot summer. And yeah, creative mind, I think, saved my last year. So grateful for the community and all. I'm excited to be here tonight.
Just briefly, in order to improve our experience, could you please mute your microphone if you're not speaking, because then it's the quality of sound in the broadcast is better.
Some interference.
Thank you.
Okay, how about Marta?
I just muted my microphone.
Yeah.
Well, I have not had the privilege of meeting Stephen personally. but I interpreted for Robert Dills for a number of years. I'm from Mexico, from Morelia, a beautiful town, colonial town, though it has grown too much. And then at first I was an architect, and then in my 40s, I changed career and I became a therapist and went into NLP. So I was at NLPU for 9 years as a resource person.
Oh, that's awesome.
I
Nice to
had the
meet you, Art.
privilege of receiving an invitation for this. So I am very curious because I would like to wake up my creative part. After I retired, so forcefully, something like on account of the pandemic. So I had to, I'm in lockdown because I had cancer, so I have to take good care of myself. But I would like, I am sort of having a re-encounter with myself, the way I used to be while I was an architect.
Okay, welcome, Martha. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
Welcome.
I have a daughter who is a painter, so I'm very curious about this.
Yeah.
Thank
Okay,
you.
nice to meet you.
Thank
Christina.
Hello. I've been with studying Steve's work since 2012 through trans camps and supervisions and stuff. So I've met a lot of you, and I've heard about a lot of you. I'm really excited to meet today. I just decided in quarantine and lockdown in August that I need colors. So it started with puzzles, and I got bored of puzzles. And then I just ended up ordering art supplies from Facebook ads or whatever. So I've only been doing this since August, and I don't really know what I'm doing. It's like, the more I learn, the more I realize how I really don't know what I'm doing. But
Show people just a little sample there behind you. This is the newbie. Is that great or what?
This is pretty cool. I call that night vision. Like depth and composition, and how do I make paint just even draw a straight line properly. But what I found really freeing was the idea of mark making, which is just put marks on paper, like just make anything. I'm not going to be presenting later, so I just want to offer this right now, something my artists in my own community of coaches, we did a little call like this, and how do you use art in your work to help people get connected to your creative side with your clients. And a couple of them totally didn't know each other, say that they start their sessions or do their whole sessions telling their client while they're talking about whatever they're coaching about to be doodling with their non-dominant hand, to just start making marks on, doesn't even matter, just with their non-dominant hand. And that just kind of just a little tidbit in there.
Great, thank you. I'm just gonna say, just out of respect for wanting to make sure that people who are going to present the art have time, we should keep these things really short, the introduction.
Yeah, welcome Christina, and welcome Marta. Yeah. Also, maybe Steven, we could watch right now one presenter, one artist, and then we could continue with other presentations.
Well, let's just say, sorry, Oksana, sorry for interrupting. Why don't we just say, hello, my name is Cecile. I'm from Martinique. So Cecile, and so we'll just include everybody by name and where you are.
Okay.
Hello, Cecile. Nice to meet you.
Molly.
Welcome. Welcome, Cecile.
You presented me already.
Yeah.
So
Molly.
yeah.
Molly.
Yeah, I'm Molly Gazzino. I'm in Austin, Texas.
Welcome, Molly. Nice to see you.
Yeah, but Bhavana.
Bhavana from Madrid, Spain. It's nice to be here with all of you, really.
Nice to see you.
Very
welcome,
nice.
Havana.
Welcome.
Andrea. Your mic is off.
Hi, I'm from Austria, and nice to see you. Really appreciate to be here.
Yeah.
Welcome, Andrea.
Yeah. Dan. Mike.
Mike.
Oh, yeah. Hi, I'm Daniel. I'm from Buenos Aires, Argentina. Happy to be here with all of you.
Welcome, Daniel. Great to see
Celine.
you.
Celine. Yeah, Mike.
Hi, yes, I'm Celine Vega. I live in Santa Cruz, California, where we often have supervisions with Steve, but not this year. And glad to be here with you all.
Great. Debbie.
Good to see you, Celine. Welcome.
Welcome, Celine.
Debbie.
Hi, I'm you. I only heard about this a couple of hours ago, so I'm quite excited and curious to know what it's about. And I'm based in the UK in Yorkshire, and I'm excited to be with you all today.
Great.
Welcome, Debbie.
Welcome. Carol. Mike.
Good. There we go. I'm Carol Ames from Olympia, Washington, and I just appreciate everybody who's presenting today because I love creativity. Thank you.
Welcome, Carol. Great to see you.
Melissa. Yeah.
Melissa Valentina from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Thank you.
Welcome.
And we just got, okay. And Kelly.
Hi, I'm Kelly Taft, and I'm in Duxbury, Vermont.
Awesome.
Wow.
Welcome.
Happy to be here. Thank
Susanna. Your mic.
Hello, I'm Susanna, and I'm in Paris, France. Happy to be with you tonight.
Oh.
Welcome, Suzanne. Hi to Antonio from us.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll tell him.
Stefan.
Hello, I'm Stefan. I'm from Germany, and I'm really curious. And greetings to you all.
Awesome.
Welcome.
Thank you.
And Jim November just looked like you rolled out of bed there.
Welcome.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, I'm Jim November. I'm in Northeast Florida.
Awesome.
Great to see you. Okay, I'm doing group picture right now. So please, everybody. Great to see you all, and welcome again.
What a wonderful group.
So let's start to present our work. And who would like to start from our artists?
Well, actually, I thought that I'll speak briefly, I promise. But I have my obligatory poem. It's actually a very short.
Oh, great.
Assortment from one of my favorite soul poets, Pablo Neruda. And he says, I have a mind to confuse things, to unite them, to make them newborn, to mix them up, to undress them, until all the light in the world has the oneness of the ocean, a generous, vast wholeness, a crackling, living fragrance. That says it all, really. I just want to say, I've been doing this work for many, many years, and the creative mind work awakened about a year ago, and it was really, in some ways, pandemic inspired or prompted. But I'm 66, and I don't think, and I imagine that most, if not all of you would agree, I have never lived in such a tumultuous year as this past year. And what we're really seeing is the deep brokenness of the world. And it's not entirely a bad thing, because I think it's showing us that a particular epoch, a particular period of consciousness that's been probably 500 years, the mentalist period, where the ego, a single ego, was trying to dominate everything, it's over. It's just fracturing before our very eyes. And we see it in these three main movements that I've been, particularly shaken by, which is started with Me Too, you know, and of course all the gender and the women's work, you know, began in the 70s in terms of this epic. But Me Too, I think, was a really momentous thing. And it really brought into a new level, at least in my eyes, this whole thing about how women have been systematically left out and violated out of the community to have a true voice and a true feminine principle. We've had the environmental crisis, which I think is, you know, in that single pandemic, is a reflection of how deeply broken the human connection is with Gaia. And we've raped it and pillaged it, and it's hanging by a thread now. And so this whole relationship we've had that has allowed us to pillage and rape the whole planet, I think is really coming to a crisis point. And then, you know, particularly I think in the United States, Black Lives Matter was shaking everything here. And I think those three things, among others, all are related, because I think, again, we are in this 500-year period where we've had a community of mind where one position, basically the white Christian straight male, has claimed itself as superior and as entitled to be able to control and dominate everything. And so that's falling apart. And so it really calls us to what is trying to emerge in response to this deep brokenness. And to me, that's where, you know, my work started in Ericksonian hypnosis, and then self-relations, and then generative self is now evolved into this creative mind. And creative mind, I think, really recontextualizes the work in terms of, first, this sense of this vertical axis of consciousness. Everything, we're all consciousness, and consciousness is unfolding, and it unfolds through connection, and it goes through, in the creative mind model, these 5 levels, which is spirit, before matter, before time, before space. And I'm not speaking religiously here. What Jean Gebser called the ever-present origin that infuses every moment and every particle of being in the world. And then the next level is nature, which again is a big term, but we could think locally in terms of the planet, and even more locally in terms of the embodiment of human beings. And then we go into collective consciousness, which is interconnected but doesn't have self-awareness. And then we have culture, we have family, we have groups, and that's really the basis for this representational, where we're now working on maps of the world. And then that moves to, you know, where we've been in terms of this individual self-awareness, where this sense that each individual can represent the world in a unique way, and so has the opportunity to uniquely become and open in the world. And that's a real Pandora's box, you know, because that whole individual self-awareness rests on the capacity to unbind your consciousness from anything else, from any particular time and any particular space. And so you have freedom, you know, and you have the freedom to develop QAnon in a matter of months. You know, you have the freedom to think the California fires were started by Jewish space lasers, right? And you can get elected. You don't want me to start on that. So we have that unbinding, which gives us this astonishing freedom, but also so much freedom that we can hang ourselves with the rope. But I think this is it's calling us to move to this fifth level, which is what we might call creative mind, which is sort of, what traditionally might be called Buddha mind or Christ consciousness or integral mind, where every particle of the system is differentiated and has self-awareness, but every particle contains the whole and feels a communion and a connection with the whole. So to do that, I think we have to shift from focusing on individuals or, sort of private work to really always contextualizing our work in terms of connection to the planet, connection to communities, connection to different cultures, so forth and so on. I think we can say in terms of art that it's clear that to do that, the analytical brain, verbal left hemisphere is completely inadequate for being able to do that. We have to have this multimodal relationship, multiple forms of expression, multiple truths, and it's really a community of mind. So for that, I see art as so crucial to being able to have any sort of chance of being able to cultivate this community of mind. And so that's why I think it's, it's not only something like, in the mentalist idea, art is, oh, that's nice. We go to museums once in a while. And, it's not really considered to be a mainstream language for everyday living. But I think it needs to. So as, my main professional commitment, as far as I can see, is to the creative mind work. We're developing a certification and we're doing books. And I think that art is such an integral part of it. So I really see the evolution of this work really coming from a community of people like yourselves who can be able to express it and represent it in the many different ways. So that's my little spiel about it. And so now, Oksana, I'll turn it over to you, and you can invite our sort of main guests to share what they're doing.
Thank you, Stephen.
Thank you, Stephen. It was really interesting, and I just started to think literally the art is a connection between cultures. I mean, we all around the world, we know the work of greatest artists, for example, all we are. And by the way, what about art behind you? What culture is it?
Well, this is an Aboriginal painting here. I got it in Perth in Western Australia at this sort of co-op for Aboriginal artists. So I'm not going to move the camera, but that's considered a contemporary. And interestingly, as a side note, so I was checking out all this Aboriginal art when I was in Western Australia, and I went into a gallery, and there was a white guy who was like the head of the gallery, and I said, just how old is this Aboriginal art? And I was expecting 5,000 years. He said, well, it's like 40 years old. He said, because the Aboriginal people never saw it as stuff to put on the walls. They would go out in the outback to do their rituals, and they would paint these symbols on the rocks or on the trees in order to do their rituals, and then they would walk away. It's like, okay, that was our expression, and we bow and we walk away. And then some white guy came along and said, hey, you can make a lot of money from that. So
Thank you. By the way, it's exactly this picture. It was the source of inspiration for Antonio Mezzo, who created all art for a Creative Mind summer course we did this summer with Steven.
Yeah, and much, much more.
Yes, and it will be continued. So
Can I just screen share for 2 minutes something?
yes,
You bet.
yes.
I just wanted to show you, we're talking about Antonio. And Antonio is illustrating. Robert Diltz and I are doing the here we go, the generative coaching books. And is it on?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, so here's how Antonio is. This is Robert and my. These are from transcripts of our generative coaching, and just as an example. Antonio is doing the layout, and also these are his drawings, illustrations. I don't know. I think you can see that pretty clearly, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So
yes.
So he's just taking the transcripts and so this is an example of how I see as one possibility for bringing art into the work. Isn't that incredible? And you know, Antonio has come to workshops. I mean, he's illustrated Robert's books, but he's come to many workshops, and he sits in the audience, and he has his iPad, and he's got some software where he does these illustrations as he's listening to the workshop. And then usually we have him the next morning, we start the day with him showing a PowerPoint of a review of the day in terms of the 3 or 4 key ideas. And I always think, my God, he's like able to express these ideas so much better than me. So just wanted to show that as an example of where I see one of the ways that we're trying to integrate art into this educational program. All right. Thank you.
Thank you,
Steven. We all are looking forward to this generative coaching new book for many years already. So it is just really exciting to see it's coming.
Yeah, the human consciousness is such an amazing thing to explore, to use, and you know, this is one of the ways that we do it. It's through art, which of course, as Oksana said, transcends culture, transcends language. I think it transcends us, or maybe it becomes us. Which who would like to begin? Because we want to really take a look and see, and not just talk about it, but to actually. Molly, can you? We can't hear you, but I'd like to.
We also, by the way, guys, we also have something to share with you. It is a surprise.
Super surprise.
Yeah, but first we would like to give you a chance to share your work.
So Molly, welcome.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. I'd like to say that I'm a fiber and mixed media artist. I'm also an art therapist and an author, and hopefully a future consultant. One of the things that I'm very interested in is how to generate creative flow by tapping into the symbols of one's soul and how they emerge. And I'm trying to really observe that in myself, and also how to teach that to other people. And so when I was reading this first chapter that Steve set out, what I really connected with was the whole that art is about generative relationship and aesthetic intelligence. It's I'm always looking at what's emerging. If I place a color here, what happens to the colors around it and the shapes around it? So this whole thing of generative relationships where 1 + 1 = more than 2 really captures me. When I look at a final piece, what I see is all these different relationships between the individual parts. And it's so much bigger than the separate parts. And so it is that 1 + 1 = 3, 5, 10, whatever. It's kind of the old saying of a picture's worth 1,000 words. So as Steve was talking about Antonio's art, that capacity that in one slide to bring multiple concepts together is just so fascinating to me. And it depends on, you know, in a collage, if you have a group of people leaning into each other portrayed and they're all talking, you can change the whole thing by the same people sitting in a circle, but they have their backs turned away from each other. So there's all those different messages that are portrayed at once. I wanted to share with y'all quickly some of my art.
Yes, please.
This is what I call a prayer mandala.
Oh,
and this,
wow.
Beautiful.
Wow.
It's all beaded and there's netting and silk ribbon.
Molly, can you
and
bring it even closer to your camera, please?
You
Let me
know,
see.
is there a way to like pin her, or do we just have to shift?
Everybody
the
does that
speaker?
for themselves, Stephen.
Yeah, we pinned.
If you shift to active speaker, it might be bigger.
Right.
Yes,
Okay.
I got it
What
now.
is that?
Beautiful.
What is that? Okay, so y'all can see that. It's really only like about 4 inches by 4 inches.
How amazing. Huh?
Beautiful.
But it's, I used to make really huge art quilts, but it became kind of like quilt wrestling and it was hard on my back. And so I'm now down to 4 inches by 4 inches, which is a lot easier on my body. Another thing that I do, and I have a couple of these are pins. This is jewelry. It's made out of silk wool, and it has feathers and semi-precious stones and vintage beads and that sort of thing. So these are little tiny microcosms that's again turquoise and feathers and silk and that sort of thing. Here's one more of those. So they're all like these little mandalas that you can wear and have fun with. And they're very soft. They are like featherweight. The other thing that I wanted to show you guys quickly are these journals that I make.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Wow.
And it's a special project inspired through Steve's work. This is they're all quilted. I don't know if you can see the.
Yeah, we can see.
Okay, and then this is the inside where it's
amazing.
Okay, and so they're blank, but it's a project called the Good Works Journal Project, and I give them away, and I ask people to, because they take about 20 hours to make individually, I ask that you do 20 hours of Good Works and then record it here in the journal and then find somebody else who wants to participate and you get them the journal and then they do their good work and pass it on. So that's an ongoing project and it was very much inspired by my work with Steve. I've been working with Steve since the 90s. So
Molly's in the Austin, Texas group,
Guys,
which
you
is
can turn your
32 years.
on and let's make applaudissements.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening.
Beautiful.
Beautiful, Molly.
Amazing.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Amazing.
Really nice.
Is there anybody else who would like to share something with us? I think we have a really So a really receptive audience. Abby,
Abby raised her hand.
this is
Welcome, Abby.
it's such a strong connection and such
Yeah,
a,
I just feel all of you.
so I'm gonna pin Abby so she's,
Yeah.
oh, hello there.
Hi. Hi.
Hi, Abby.
Hi. So I really wanted to share with this group two forms of creating art that are not just about the product, not just about the artwork that emerges, but also the process. Because I feel like that portal, that way of entering and accessing creative mind and the multiplicity of mind and feeling and sensing, and then allowing that form and to move through us and come through into color, shape, lines, imagery, and how that emerges. That for me is where the richness and the healing potential of really allowing ourselves to connect to this creative process is about. So the two forms that have really been birthed through my connection with Steve's work and through my own processes and those I love are the El Duende process painting, which I also use pastels. And those also were used to create what I've called the Soror Mystica Oracle deck of cards. So what I want to do is first just show you a 2-minute video of the El Duende process painting and then speak about it, because I feel like seeing it actually is a lot richer than just talking about it. So I'm going to screen share. Share. Okay, so is that, do you see the screen?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow.
Beautiful.
That was really something.
Beautiful.
So Abby, that was from a one session, right?
No, that was over about 4 months,
Okay.
but it was on one canvas.
Yeah.
So the work that I do is that there's a continual transformation by sensing the energy and the feelings and what's emerging not from my conscious mind, but from the imagery itself. And this piece was, it began because I was really needing a space to process my daughter and her husband had had a second miscarriage. And I knew that there was no way my mind could wrap around it and find a healing or a settling place, but that the art and the imagery has always been what gifts that. So my work and my life has, I think, been very dedicated to doing that for myself, but then also teaching this process and teaching and guiding that awakening in everybody, because this has nothing to do with you being a quote unquote good artist. Anybody can do this work and has done this work. So thank you for witnessing that. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I thought it might have been from a single session, even though I could feel there were so many different pieces, but because, you know, Abby and Mary Masaro and Jim November, we do this residential group in North Carolina. It started originally in North Carolina, then moved to Boston and Providence and back down to North Carolina. And we usually work on the floor, sitting on the floor, and Abby does her artwork. People are doing, like Mary Massaro's writing poetry, and Abby likes to be really close to the work. So she's often at my side. She's gone through multiple forms, like collaging. She was ripping up magazines. But the most astonishing thing to me was, I'd be working, it's really intensive work in those groups. And I would just be feeling something so deeply, and I would look down, at what Abby was doing. And it was like astonishing, like, oh my God, that's exactly what I was like feeling, experiencing in my realm.
Yeah.
Incredible. And then usually what we do,
Please mute your microphone.
Yeah, and just to complete that, what we usually do in those sessions is we have feedback, and typically Abby shares her painting and gifts her painting to the person doing the work. And there's a sense of, oh my God, where did that come from? Where did that come from? And we just started seeing this, such an incredible evolution, where there was one image, and then as the work progressed, it sort of started morphing, as you could see in that. And then you got the idea to take iPhone images, photos every 5 minutes or something?
Just when the impulse felt like, yeah. But that was the tracking the transformation and feeling into the gifting of the creative evolution, that it's there, as long as I could be relaxed and open.
Yeah.
And welcome. And you have to welcome whatever is going to come. So it's not always pretty, and it's not always, nice, but welcoming whatever makes room for what needs to be seen and welcomed, and transformed. Yeah.
Awesome.
Thanks. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you
so much
for sharing this beauty with us. Thanks again.
Very nice. Very nice.
So I'm going to ask if I could be next. Mostly,
okay. Yeah.
Mostly because of my work being an extension of everything that Steve just said. So I think I've already introduced myself as a dancer, previous lifetime, and a dance therapist. But I've learned everything from, I want to say, the feet up. And I've also learned everything through silence, never feeling that I had a voice. And that was okay because I had a body and I could use my body. And over the years, Steve and I have honored the body in our residential self-relations groups. This creative mind feels to me like the most perfect evolution to coming back to that place of soul. And, you know, the language of movement has a voice that comes from a deep place within. So the poems that I've written honoring that silence and honoring my mind-body connection have been written over the years with unwavering support from Steve, as he really described Abby working on one end of the room doing her artwork, and me being literally on the floor diagonally pretty far away from everybody, and at the end and writing this poetry en vivo, right while things are happening. And at the end, as Steve has said, Abby will show her artwork last. I will be asked to share my poetry. And the uncanny synchronicity, just what Steve said when he'd look down and he'd say, holy shit there, excuse me, I'm from Brooklyn. You know, he'd say, you know, look at that, that's exactly what I was thinking. But at the end of an hour and a half, what would happen is that the poetry and the artwork felt as if it was literally one. And I'm so grateful to being able to now have a voice, which for 10 years I kept quiet in all of those supervisions. And then I finally felt like I could say something. So what I'd like to do is I have two poems that I wanted to read, but I want to put up on the screen I'm having a cat war right now, if you want to know what's going on. Lucy, goodbye. There. Oh gosh, she wanted to be part of us. Okay, so I'm going to share screen and see if I can put up, so where is my, you know, I'm not good at this, so bear with me, okay? Maybe files. Yes. Say it again.
So the sharing button is on the lower part of the screen, the green button.
I got it. I'm up there, but I'm just looking for where I would find my desktop because I have the picture on my desktop. So bear with me, guys.
Yeah, sure.
Abby, would
do you want me to share mine?
Share your picture of the lady of 10,000 hummingbirds and I will read it. How's that, everybody?
Great.
Right.
Great. Thank you, Abby.
Great.
I get a little help from my friends. Oh, maybe I should stop sharing.
Is that you? You're Zoom, a leader, and is that your screen?
That's Abby.
Okay, so you don't have to, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
So you're gonna pull up the photo? I mean, the artwork?
It's up. Let's see.
No,
Oh.
it's not, Abby.
Let's try again. It says let's see.
Yeah,
not sure why it's not.
We have to stop share again and do sharing again.
Okay.
Okay, and then share again.
We love electronics, don't we? Yeah. How's that?
There you go.
Great.
Okay, thank you.
Beautiful.
So Abby is in one corner, and Steve is in the middle of our circle working with a person who's the patient, the client, and there's one or two therapists. So there's 4 or sometimes 3 people sitting on the floor in the middle, and the work begins. And she begins doing her pastels over there, and I am writing over here. And this piece of art and piece of work is called The Lady of 10,000 Hummingbirds. Swimming in the sea of sorrow, the undertow reveals reflective glimmers of light for the unborn. Vulnerability floating about, joined by cords that could at any moment strangle, give out, or cut off the life force. Will she be eaten alive at any moment the cord is cut? Will she be left alone only to be devoured, ripped apart, one joint at a time? How long could this go on? In the distance, above the horizon, black-winged birds spread their beaks, beating their wings in unmeasurable speeds. They magically fly, revealing their iridescent crowns. 10,000 hummingbirds, bringing nourishment, dropping the food down to the sea floor, revealing the sustenance and connection to her future. She swims, climbing up, arriving at the place where freedom connects to breath, connects to light, and connects to survival.
Mm.
Wow,
Thank you.
What beautiful work.
And I have one more. Thank you. Abby, can you find this one?
Mhm.
Okay.
What's really incredible about Mary's poetry that I think you would appreciate even more if you were there is that you hear in a session sort of like key phrases or key statements, and every one of those is woven into Mary's poetry. So you really got all these key symbolic elements represented in Abby's painting and Mary's poetry. It's really quite a 1-2 combination.
Thank you. This one is called When You See the Fork in the Road, Pick It Up and Feed You.
That's a joke for
Yeah, that's a joke for those of you who
our Americans.
Yeah, the fork in the road. I think everybody knows that. But anyway.
Yeah.
Okay. On May 6th, there was joy felt throughout the world. This day was named the Birth of Peter Day. He was surrounded by kindness of strangers who came from all over to bless him. Sorry. Like all tales of long ago, there were curses that coupled the blessings. He grew not knowing why, but he grew knowing of his determination to find the cures. Years of bitterness, years of red hot rage, years of discontentment, years of shame bit down on his heart. He gnawed away at him. It gnawed so deeply, like flesh-eating demons, evil spirits that left him hungry. He cries and sobs, shook the mountains of the land. Every cry shook every mountain. He wept to be released. The tears brought courage to stay true to himself. And so a journey of divinity began. He walked his path to self-empowerment, knowing all too well that it starts from within. He walked for more years, and then at exactly 6:50 p.m. on March 27th, 2010, he stumbled on a key in the road. He knew at once it was to be used to unlock the curses. He turned the key to unlock his broken, imprisoned heart. Cheers were heard once again across the land. They named that day the rebirth of Peter Day.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mary.
I changed the name just because it felt like, yeah. And the dates. Except for the March 27th, that was really the day that we were together.
Yeah.
I thank you all so much for inviting me. I'm really honored to be able to participate in any way with the creative mind. It's thank you, Oksana. I saw your hearts. Thank you. This has not been an easy road for me to speak. I'd much rather Celine and I move. Yeah.
Yeah,
Love you.
together.
You got Sister Celine over there joining you.
Thank you again.
Sharing with us from your beautiful soul.
So if it's okay with people, I would like to go next because I feel like I'm continuing whatever has been said here. And it is amazing to hear Abby and Mary talk about when there's a session going on that they're drawing and they're doing things, because that's what I've been doing ever since Creative Mind started in July this year. And so as it started, I got this input of, come on, Isa, get up, get your pastels, get your paper, do something, draw while Steve is doing a session with someone. And that's how it all started for me, this drawing. Besides drawing, I am also a storyteller and a child whisperer. And so performance.
That's an incredible understatement to say that she's a storyteller. Amazing.
So performance, dancing, art has always been part of my soul, I must say. But here, what I'm doing here and how I've been touching the pastels and the sessions and the going back into the source and go find whatever creativity is coming up as I'm connecting to my inner source has been like tremendous for me and pure joy. So I'm not very good with words explaining how I'm doing it, so I'm going to show you the things that I'm doing. So to see the evolution, I started kind of something like this. I don't know if you can see
Yeah.
Yeah, so
we can see it.
What you can see here, I've been drawing my eyes closed. So this is just giving my hands the permission to draw. And maybe you can see here, like there is a woman with child, and then there is this great, for me, guardian source figure. Yeah, I thought that was very speaking. So that was the kind of beginning of the drawings that I started doing. As I went a little bit further, that was with pastels. I put some ink to it. And then I started doing things like this.
You saw this this beautiful work and
that's the one on the mail as well that we received today. So that is just watercolor, and you know those things that you have on the bathtub when you want to pull the plug, you have the chains, so it's done with a chain. And then I started mixing both of them, pastels and watercolor. And I got to do things like this. And as I went on, I found this terrific paper, which is velvet paper. And as you do pastels on velvet paper, then you have a really, really soft going. And as I was doing this one, I wrote a poem to it as well. If it's okay for you, I'm going to read the poem that I wrote with it.
We would love
So it's called Healing Lights.
Is there a way that we can continue to see the picture?
Okay. So.
Oh, go ahead.
Feeling dark and pulled down to a place of darkness, a void, feeling left alone, not seen, not heard, needing human presence but not knowing how to ask. Come to the healing lights. Let your body be lifted up by the purification and healing energy of color, movement, and let yourself be transported to a new place filled with love and joy and kindness. And know that you are always welcome into the healing lights. Listen to the sound of the colors. Let your mind, your spirit be transported with this rhythm to your inner space and feel the healing into your cells. Love, deep gratitude. Become the rhythm. Become the lights. Become the healing. Become. Be welcome. Being of light, being of love, be yourself. Oh. So that was one. And then another one that I created as well in this velvet paper, something like this.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so many more to come, to the latest ones that are a little bit different, that are a mix of pastels and ink, Chinese ink.
Beautiful.
Wow.
And that is the very, very latest one that just did. And I got really angry and I was looking for my inner demons. And I really loved how the ink was flowing on the paper without me taking it to some space. And then this came out and I really thought that was just amazing.
Cool.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at right now, and I really love going on and trying to experience, because it's all experiencing and it's all feeling and it's all going back inside and getting close to those lights and things. So thank you for listening.
Oh, thank you so much, Isa.
Thank you, Isa, for sharing your beauty.
Wow, that's so great.
So great.
May I go next?
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Because it's very interesting. I think like each person who is talking is bringing the other one. It's the same thing already. So I went through old drawer to find a drawing, because I used to do that, but honestly, it's not my main art. I found one. It's this one. Okay. And it's very dirty because I did this something like 12 years ago. But okay, I got one art. You see it, right?
It's beautiful.
It's pastel.
Beautiful.
It's pastel.
Yeah.
But my main heart is writing. So I will read a part. It's I actually timed myself, so I'm sure it's 5 minutes. It's part of a novel, the last novel that I wrote, and I find myself an agent this morning, so it's a big day for me. It's in fantasy world where people go into a kind of trance, and when they do that, they access to a part of their deeper self, if you like, and they take the form of their deeper self. Most of the time, it's Adimax. So the main character is a healer. His name is Evan. He's a spiritual leader. And when he does this, he becomes a transparent deer, transparent stag. The narrator who tells the story of Evan becomes a bird. So it's a night and they go off for a little ride. And here's what's happening. That's about when it started. The silvery glow that emanated from the deer body spread, widened on the pavement into the dark street like a puddle of water, pushing the darkness further and further away. I flapped my wings, curious and delighted. He had never done that before. The puddle of silver liquid touched the wall of the houses on both sides, becoming a fog, and my curiosity turned into amazement. Behind the walls, something had begun to vibrate in response. Someone, everyone, all the people asleep inside of their homes. I stood on the deer, wrapped in his magic. I could see all the details, a series of scenes, both visions and sensations, currents, vibration, rustling, came to me in successive waves, and I saw. The foreman sleeps and dreams of his apprentice, whom he loves to hate. It started with little humiliating remarks. Then the foreman saw the harm he could do. And he was intoxicated, frightened, excited. Now he beats the kid and tastes day after day that rage that makes him alive. And at the same time, that slowly devours part of his heart that was a child. The crystal deer enters his dream and stands motionless. Find greater pleasure in the good you will do, the deer says. The foreman doesn't think it's possible. He hates himself too much for everything he's already done. The animal is waiting, translucent like a glass statue and shining like a moonrise, his calm, patient eyes. The man thinks he has never seen anything more beautiful in the world. He asks if it's not too late and show his heart that seems eaten away by mice. The deer blows on it and the foreman answers, okay, I believe in you. The deer passed the house, his hooves rattling on the pavement. Even before the foreman took his horse, I saw. In the old couple's home, a decade of mutual resentment. You don't love me, they say to each other. You want to hurt me, they think of each other. They are so unhappy. When she sees the transparent deer, the old woman is the first to lay her hand on her heart and say, I believe in you. The old man does the same. The great deer contemplates them, and they hear his answer in his clear eyes. If you believe in me, then believe in love. He basses them in silver light, and in the cottage, the quarrels, entangled like balls of wool full of needles, are untied. The wool is soft without needles. The deer kept trotting. At no time did he give me the impression that he was doing anything else, that he was deliberately provoking these miracles. But it kept happening. Before a raised building, his radiance affected all floors simultaneously. And I saw, on the first apartment, a little boy heals faster from losing his dog when the purity of the deer delicately opened the beating center of his pain, touches it, shoots it. The room next door, the trust is restored between a brother and a sister after an argument. A teenage girl finally finds herself to be pretty. A baby laughs in his sleep. A old man dreams the last dream of his life, full of sweetness and dawn, which will fill him with wonder during the 3 days left to live. The scenes overlapped, the story intervened. Kindness, pure and sweet, transformed the village, and I was in awe.
Merci.
Thank you.
Cecile, yeah, I think you briefly introduced yourself, but we were going around very fast. But
Yes.
she is from Martinique, and she's a very well-known television journalist in Martinique. She's an investigative journalist.
Well,
So-
this is my upper self, and now I'm trying to develop the hidden self.
Yeah.
This one.
Well, she's passionate. You know, she used to come to Paris. How long ago was that?
Well, you were in kindergarten, I think. It was like
Yeah, and she would be interrogating me with her microphone with all these questions. No, it's a compliment. She's really a very accomplished, well-known, say, television journalist. She does a lot of political stories. We've been tracking the Trump bullshit for some years. Thank you, Cecile.
Thank you.
Thank you, Cecile, very much.
Looking forward to the novel being on the bookshelf so I can buy it on Amazon.
Sure.
When it will be available?
Sorry.
When?
When it's available. Oh, in English, I don't know.
But you wrote it originally in French, right?
Yes, this is translation.
It's a great translation.
Oh, cool. Well, it's the one I use with the copy.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Cecile.
Now Oksana has a little surprise for everyone. She's been working on this, and let me get this up and share the screen. So I think I think you guys are gonna like this.
Okay.
Ready?
This is our little surprise.
Where is it? Oh, here it is. Okay, here we go. You take the mouse.
Can you see the screen?
Of course.
Yeah.
Yes.
We can see it.
So guys, let me introduce you the first number of Creative Mind magazine, with which will include all artwork since last summer through this fall. So let's take a look. It's just
This is experimental. We're just just playing with it.
And we just started, and our designer Alexandra, she just sent this. This is preliminary version. It's not finished yet. We just wanted to share to you. So this is our.
Let's go.
Let's go. You
A little bit faster.
That's, by the way, that's Antonio Mesa's art that he did.
Yeah.
You know, and you see the difference between, I showed you those things in generative coaching. Antonio has got so much different art in him. He's amazing.
Yeah. Go on. Oksana.
Okay, let's go. So here is our
Okay, here's
content.
So let's just go quickly through this because it's a lot of content.
Yeah, and it will be overwork. Yeah, this is word from Steven.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this magazine will also include poetry, which Steven reading on his workshop, Steven's articles and
Some slides.
reference. We very much grateful Celine for all her gathering, all her links and Steven's poetry and recommendations.
Thank you, Celine.
Also
Wow, hey,
include
look at that, Abby Miller.
And Isa.
Oh, wow.
This is all-star.
This is great.
It's Christina's art too.
Oh, wow.
So this is poetry, which also Cecile chose.
Mm-hmm.
And further, we'll see, please not that fast.
I got to keep going. I can't stop.
So, and as further, you see also the articles and stories for.
Well, this is really nice.
Yeah. And here is the recommendations from videos, which group leaders did the Creative Mind meetings.
Wow, who's this?
Yeah. My meeting about archetypes. This is Beverly's meeting also.
Oh, Beverly. Wow.
Creative Mind Radio, Richard's project, which Andreas invented.
Well, it's Andreas' project.
Andreas invented this.
But I like it.
And we will continue on further with that. So here is recommendations for all our contributors and links for all folders.
And at the very end, there are places where you can send your contributions to keep this art alive in the world.
Okay, let me.
Okay, that's good.
Okay, it was a joke. I saw Stephen did not smile, so I just decided to clarify here.
Well, I think I was just deeply absorbed in the beauty of what you guys are showing. I'm just thrilled. That's amazing.
Nice work, Oksana.
Thank you. It's all credit to our artists, our writers. Also, we'll add Cecile work too, and we have a lot of to add. But when we finish, we will send to all community as a present. So,
Spasiba, Oksana.
Thank you.
Anything else to share?
And anybody else would like to share? Who else? Charlotte.
Charlotte.
Welcome.
Yeah. Now that I'm here, I will be brave to share. Thank you for inviting me to share also. Actually, there were so many so beautiful things said about art and how it really touches our soul and how it also is a kind of a vehicle to express what is and to actually touch what is within us. So to touch really also these unknown and all the creative potential. And so when I started painting, I was really so shy. I showed it to nobody. It was like, I think 20 years ago, but it was really hidden. It was only me doing it. And I know that my mother-in-law, she said, you are like, why don't you show yourself and express yourself? And it was impossible for me. And now my art gets bigger and bigger in the sense I can't keep it small. Only in the supervisions, I have this kind of book where then I go for, and I just also, as you described it, I'm just painting. One is also, you talked about the synchronicities, and there's this butterfly. And I don't know, Steve, if you remember, the person who talked about or worked healing a part where he lost somebody, and her name was actually translated, the meaning was butterfly. So we were all like, oh my God, what's
in Munich, right? The Munich supervision.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so over the years, I realized how much I needed art to express myself and to heal myself and to accept everything that comes up. And that was also part of knowing you, Steve, and being in this work, because it was really a blank canvas can hold everything. And this is like integrating all these parts, like the light parts, the darker parts, all the colors. And so very often when I guide persons who come to my place to heal, they reject parts of themselves. And as soon as we are able to go through it and to just find a place on the canvas and then very often it goes through movements and gestures to know which color it has with which shape. And suddenly it has a safe space on the canvas, and other things can be there at the same time. It's not more an either or, but it's this one and this one and that one and that one. And all this is a piece of art. So what I realized over time, you talked about this beauty and aesthetic. I always said to myself, oh, this is superficial. To find something beautiful, to look beautiful, to search for beauty in nature, it's superficial. We don't need beauty. But what I realized with having people to paint is that when they are connected to their bodies, And I always, in the process, I always ask, where do you sense it? So as in this generative work and creative work, and then I just say, just trust and express it, and don't think, try not to think about how the result will look like. So don't have the expectation. And what happens, people are so amazed really what they are able to express. And everybody who goes out of this room is like, can't, how to say, deny, I think, yeah, that he's an artist. Because if we are in resonance and we have somebody to support us to be brave, to just express without cutting parts, it's really like just beauty that comes up. And this is like, yeah, the whole body expands then, yes. And talking about synchronicities also, and what we sense through colors and the energies that you were also these connection to a larger field. When then we have somebody else that was not part of the session who is looking at this piece of art, and I ask them, what do you sense? Very often they get the topic immediately. They just sense the energy, they sense what was going on. And so yes, maybe, yeah, I'm really excited about this, and showing you also maybe a little bit of art.
Oh, definitely.
I also use it for rituals. So sometimes it's just having a gratitude ritual. And these kind of format came up when I myself was, okay, this is, I don't know.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
You see it, yes, it's a long, these are only roses. And what I did is putting myself into a each rose means something. Each rose is to one person, dedicated to one person that brought so many gifts to my life. So this person was like just off in the end, planting seeds for a rose garden for me to appear.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yes. And what it helped, I will never forget what is in there, because I know the big rose has to do with my son and some others. It's like I'm living it again. I keep it alive. Yes. And I have a little text to it. And it's called like To a Friend. You never promised me a rose garden. And what showed up over time is an endless ocean of roses. Seeds that found a fruitful ground. Earth fertilized with love and trust. And watered with endless patience. All over a delicate scent of roses. And my heart filled with joy and gratitude. I feel blessed. Yeah. So for me, it was really the beauty of co-creation, and it's valid for all relationships. It's when we are really open and fully present without any expectations, the blossom is just surprisingly overwhelming. So yes, this is one part to really also invite to use colors and painting as rituals to just, and you described it also, Abby, and yeah, so it's I don't know if and the last one I had to digest myself something very about a relationship. And I took two big canvases like the size of two doors, and I put them on the floor in my house here, and wow. I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah. That's
So,
good right there.
Yeah. So together they built they are one piece of art, right? And these circles, these were the encounters, so the spaces that came up from each one of us. And over time and going through it also in the movement, in the dance also, for me, it came up that I really realized how beautiful it is when pieces of art, so people can merge and can also stay apart. So these two canvases, they stay alone and they are still connected because they inspired each other. Yes, so they influenced each other and they are still connected. Yeah.
Wow.
Very nice.
Thank you very much, Charlotte.
Whoa.
Sharing your beauty.
Great.
Great, great.
Charlotte lives in the Black Forest still, right?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. The French mother, German father. She's on the borderline.
Aren't we all?
Aren't we all? That's beautiful. It's so amazing to see each of you. It's like I sort of harken back to when I first met you. It's like, wow. That's just so fucking amazing. Wow. Thank you, Charlotte. It's really beautiful.
Debbie,
Really
do you have your hand up for a reason, or is there a technical malfunction?
Sorry, I wasn't sure if you would let me speak this evening, and I didn't want to be rude and interrupt anybody, but I didn't know what the protocol was, that was all.
Well, do we have any more planned people, Richard, Oksana?
I don't know. Are any more planned people here?
I think everybody
Christina,
shared.
you said you're not going to share?
I'd love to. I just didn't put my name on the list.
Oh, good for heaven's sake.
And Debbie too. Everybody who.
Debbie, I think we'll have time to hear from you.
Yes,
but,
sure.
I know Christina was planning. Anybody else in addition to Christina? If you don't have your name on the list, there'll be a fine, but you can.
A fine.
Okay, so who was just speaking? Oh, is it Debbie?
Debbie.
Is that, yeah. Okay, so how about Christina does a little piece of something, and then Debbie, then we'll go to you. Great. Okay, Christina, you're on.
Ta-da, art. Hello, everybody. You've seen a lot of my stuff was in the email that went out. So that was kind of where it all started with the alcohol links, which for any of you who, I heard a couple of people be like, I don't know how to do art because I'm a physicist, but I'd like to. It's a really fun medium because you can't fuck it up. You just look it up on YouTube. It's called alcohol links. All you need, very easy. Literally, you throw colors on paper, you blow it around with a hairdryer, and it looks good. So I did that for a while, and then I moved over into acrylic paint and ink and pastels, and now my entire house has just become an art studio. Everything is covered in paint. I haven't left my house because of lockdowns in months and months and months. And it's become this incredible adventure with the art. And at first it was like, oh, fun, you know, when you're a super beginner and there's zero expectation that anything's going to look good, in a way it's a lot easier to play because there's no goal you're going for. You're just seeing what things do, you know, and all the happy accidents happen, was my experience. And then I got to some level of competence, like just the very little first level, and the demons came. And now, you know, it's like, sometimes it's all flowy. Like, I'm so glad I'm on a call with all of you artists who've been doing this for longer than me, because I'm just discovering this art process thing. And I had this thought that like, oh, art is just this lovely flow of expression, and it just comes and you channel the thing. And it's like, no, you know, sometimes that happens. And sometimes it's pulling teeth. And sometimes I just hate what I see on the canvas. I don't know what I'm doing. And it's like, and it's frustration, and you got to walk away from it. And then you come back, and then it's just the layers. It was fun watching Abby, your art, because it's like, yeah, the layers, but then you went like to a whole nother, I don't know how you did that and didn't create just mud. But the experience of ultimately letting it tell you what it's becoming instead of trying to make it be something, I think that's always the turning point when I'm trying to be visually creative with my body in that way, is being in conversation with it and just letting it happen. But there's just so many different experiences that Steve teaches in Creative Mind and that we do with the generative trance work, that emerge and happen while creating art, that it's kind of just like practicing those muscles again and again and again and again. And every now and then something really lovely comes out. And, you know, I've done a lot of spiritual practices and all sorts of things to discover what's in here. And I was surprised to see that this art adventure is opening doors inside myself that I didn't know were there, or revealing things about myself that I don't necessarily like, you know, like there was a supervision or something that happened with Steve a little earlier, a few months ago, where it was like, I don't know that I like what's in here, that this art is revealing. I didn't want to know this stuff. And it's like, open the door a little bit and let it come on the paper. Oh, and so Charlotte, the way you were saying that about with the people that come to you, and it's like, just put it on here, you know, and then there's other things going on too all together. And once it can have a form, it's no longer scary. So I don't know that this is the place for this, but for those of you who want to connect, or I don't know how we're all connecting with each other through our telegrams or whatever.
Yeah, we all Telegram, our community. You already there, Christian. Welcome.
Yeah. I'm really curious to learn from you guys who've been doing this for a while, how you use art with your clients, with your, however you call them, your patients, your clients, to help them tap in, because I know that, you know, I've dabbled with mine. But I'd love to have some ideas, because it's just such a powerful doorway, you know, into that space. That's what I got. Thank you. It's fun to share.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Wonderful, wonderful paintings behind you there. I'm just enjoying them while you're explaining how that all happened. That's really wonderful.
I did these last night. I really love how you just explained how they're like separate but together, right. You know, the interconnectedness, but also individuated. That was so cool. I hadn't even thought of that, but yeah, totally. Thank you.
Thank you, Christina.
Wow. Her Santa Monica apartment, right?
600 square feet.
Started out in Romania, then went to Toronto, then New York City, and now Fun in the Sun in Santa Monica.
It's lovely.
Let's see, we wanted to hear from Debbie. Anybody else? We still have about 20 minutes, or actually we can do whatever we like, but
I can a little bit, but it's mostly work in progress.
Yeah.
Great.
Exactly.
Okay, so we told Debbie that she could go next. So
thank you very much. It's much appreciated. I'm rather new, and I was introduced to yourself by my NLP tutor a couple of hours ago. He received your email, and he says, I think this is something that you'd be interested in. So apologies if I don't understand the concept of everything that's going on, but I've been blown away by what I've heard so far. So to start at the beginning, creative art is like for all ages and abilities. And my name is Debbie, and I believe in creative lifestyle, and I started mental health blogging and creative wellness on my journey to recovery. About 12 months ago, I decided to launch this on an online community on Facebook, and it was to share information about managing anxiety, depression, and many other things with an aim to ending the stigma surrounding mental health, because I believe that creative wellness aims to excite and motivate people, and I wanted to be able to offer this resource to everybody so that I could share my journey that I've been through and how it's helped me to heal. So what I would like to do is to share with you some of the work that I've done. So I've just launched this year Creative Wellness Journey online.
Awesome.
This is some of the work that I've done, but I just wanted to show you my introductory video. I'm quite a visual person, and I just thought this was the easiest way to express what its aims are. Oh, thank you.
We don't see videos though. We see it.
Yeah, I see it. I see it.
Okay. Yeah, we see it. Wow.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Thank you.
Wow.
Wow.
Thank you.
Awesome. You've come to the right place, Debbie.
Thank you.
Is that an Irish accent?
No, I'm from Yorkshire.
Oh, I thought it was either Irish or Liverpool, but that's a Yorkshire accent. Yeah, that's awesome. Wow.
Thank you very much. What
I love the tree with the flowers in it.
wonderful work. Great. And was that Stefan that said he was going to, who was the next person?
I think so. Yeah. And guys, I just want to tell you, I have to leave in about 5 minutes. I've got another Zoom with actually Antonio and Robert Diltz about the illustrations for GC1. So I just want to give you that forewarning.
Well, I can just very quickly share something. That would be on my tablet. I'll see if I can do it in 5 minutes. It's just work in progress. This is, can you see this, guys? This is a beginning illustration for a kid's book.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's just first drafts. It's going to be a kid's book for my little boy about the hero's journey. So this is the calling, where the little teddy bear. Here's about the wonderful world of adventure. There's going to be, you can see the outlines. There's going to be a little raven here who tells him about the big wild world. So it's a very different style than what we see mostly, but I just thought I might share this. There's going to be more, and maybe on another occasion I can share more, but given the 5-minute limit, that's probably that part. The other thing that I can share is more different style. I'm working on a couple of icon logo illustrations for the hero's journey right now. They're more really like logos or pictograms, but that's about the whole illustration of the hero's journey. I hope you can see this.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's the birth of the hero. I'm sorry. I hope I didn't get this. Wait a moment. I may have messed this up. Back. Yeah, that's the birth of the hero.
Yeah.
That's the calling. So a little like that. This is the refusal. There's this 2 voices in the hero. There's supposed to be like, that's crossing the threshold. Now he meets his mentors and gets his resources. This is him fighting the dragon.
Yes.
This is achieving a new status.
Status.
And here he meets the muse, which is one of the stages that Campbell includes on the journey. So this is like this higher inspiration, this light experience. There's also the temptation, which is a different female experience.
Very Catholic themed. Yeah.
Catholic.
Yeah, I try to use the design from traditional pictures. So there's a lot of, especially Christian pictures, where the saint refuses that tempting woman. So I used this from traditional artwork.
That tempting.
A lot of the designs. This one's, for example, you find artwork with Dante, who has his muse Beatrice in the Divine Comedy, which you can see similar positions. This is basically this old alchemy drawings of the male and female union. Here I symbolize this with a chalice that this is like they're receiving the ultimate boon. The hero receives the boon, and you can also see he's like has a new status. He's now crowned. And finally, he passes this on to others. So this is just a short view of the major stages, and I'm trying to create images. They may not be the final versions, who in a nutshell give you a little bit about the idea in traditional mythology. I'm still working with what ideas to include, or what would be the main representation of each stage as a starting idea. Certainly not as colorful as some of the stuff we've seen, but
Awesome.
I wanted to make it realistic.
Thank you.
Great, really great. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing.
Happy to share this.
I don't know if you saw Stefan's son sitting in his lap at the beginning.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's now with his mommy. And you can hear him in the background, I think.
Yeah.
Happy to share this with you.
And what a wonderful illustration, one of many of the entire evening, about how art really connects us. And every one of these visions is completely different than mine, but suddenly I can see it too, and I can share it. And that makes such an amazing, not only a connection, but I think it makes me more human. I'm so grateful for what you guys have shared, and
thank you very much.
I'd like to invite you to join us from time to time on these adventures. because it's just one of the things that Stephen Gilligan's creative mind, this model, not only facilitates, but I think really reinforces. So let's look forward to a lot more of this. This is a wonderful beginning. I'm so happy that we could meet. Oksana, thank you. Oksana really invented this, I think. Although
Oksana is really the mother of all this. So thank you so much, Oksana.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Super.
I'm so grateful to.
Thank you, Oksana. Thank you, Richard. Thank you, Stephen.
I'm so grateful to all artists,
Thank you.
to all writers, everybody who came, and let's be in touch, please. I just remember how I wanted to listen, to hear more about Molly, to see her work, Abby, and all of you right now. Let's like close for me. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. It's very touching.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, everybody.
I hope we get our man.
Thank you. Thank all of you.
Thank you. I have a question about staying connected.
Yeah.
This is my first experience with the creative mind, so I'm asking, do you have a specific email address that goes out to all of us, or how does that work? I know I received something to be invited to this, but I just wanted to double check that.
You in those emails we have Telegram chat, Telegram group for art community. So there we will discuss everything further, and also we will publish the link for general chat for all creative mind community, not only for art but for everybody. And we are very welcome.
And this particular mailing list is all connected to Stephen because it's the creative mind mailing list. I think we'll probably go beyond these beginnings, but this is a great place to start. This is the catalyst. This is where it all began, and what a privilege to have witnessed it, to be here with you. So guys, let's keep on.
Yeah, sorry, Richard.
Go ahead, I'm done.
I just want to say we are launching at the end of next month a program, a year-long program in Creative Mind, and I'm really happy with it. It's an 8-module. There's a 1-day intro, although we're not supposed to call it an intro, I'm told, and then all virtual. 8 3-day programs. That's a whole sequence of Creative Mind, and I see that as my main professional commitment. As I said, we're going to have the 3-day modules that all be virtual. I want to put each one into a book. I want to illustrate it. Well, I see that as the core curriculum for beginning to develop this creative mind community. And then communities like this, which are so awesome, for me personally, I see it as how can we collectively be able to express this vision. And I mean, just what we touched here today is just incredible to me. I mean, it's sort of overwhelming, how much what incredible talent that we have here. So I hope that we really continue. I was mentioning, like, often with Abby sitting next to me all on the floor, and those North Carolina groups are pretty intense. We've gone probably the furthest places. They're really intense.
Yeah.
And we're all living together. But just to see, like, during the work, and it's such sort of open, deep work, that looking over and seeing what she's doing in her art and being sort of shocked that it was so resonant to what I was actually experiencing in my field of consciousness, I'm working with somebody. So I don't have those talents, you know, I have my own talents, but so I see like what this is one really significant piece of how could we take this and collectively be able to express it. If you haven't seen Otto Scharmer's website, I would really recommend it. And we can put that on the Telegram.
Yeah.
Otto Scharmer is the guy who, you know, was one of the co-founders of the theory of you at MIT. What he's doing with his Presencing Institute, I think, is just extraordinary, where he's really taking this work into social justice and collective change and cross-cultural stuff. And he's bringing such beautiful art into what they're doing. So if you can see on that website, and I think we'll also put that YouTube link to this incredible poetry, visual art, music that they put together in terms of talking about the core themes of the Presencing Institute. So I see that as an example of what I hope that we collectively can develop, not just as in terms of individual work, but I think really, to me, our great calling is to be part of the collective transformation that we either make or we cease to exist as humanity. I know that might sound like an Irish exaggeration, but I think it's true. You know, we either transform or we will perish. It's that intense. You know, the environment is
transforming.
You know, sorry?
I vote for transforming.
Yeah, so I think, you know, to me, like the conversations we're having today are just one little piece of that, you know. So I hope we can continue in that way to really being able to collectively unfold this whole creative mind collective vision to support many, many different communities. And, you know, one of the great things about Creative Mind is we see how many different cultures are represented. You know, just tonight, you know, I know most of you from local, you know, we've got the North Carolina, we've got the Austin, we've got the Germany, we've got the Russian, and so I know all those communities, but it's so great to feel these communities all coming together. You know, and it's like, you know, that 1 + 1 = 85, you know. So I'm really appreciative for what we've done here today. So thanks a lot, and I hope we can continue on this journey together.
Let's do it.
Thank you.
Good.
May I ask a quick question before you go, just to put it in here and then we see how it goes. I'm not quite clear about what exactly you want to develop with this community. Is it an art around your heart? Is it art that is separate and linked because we are linked together? Do you want someone to paint your thoughts? Do you want someone to poetry your session? Or is it totally different, or you want people to, you know, you get it. I'm not quite clear.
Well, yeah, so if it's primarily singularly about Stephen Gilligan, it's not Creative Mind. So all those things about your stuff, that's what I want to grow beyond. I mean,
Yes.
I'm happy to, you know, articulate my voice in all this. You know, I've been doing the work for 45 years. But what I feel that I'm committed to doing is putting out this curriculum, these 8 modules, which I think is I'm really happy with it, to doing a training program, to begin to put it out. And then for me, there is a whole nother generation where the community is able to develop it and awaken it and articulate it, and in ways that would never be part of just me. So that's my vision. but I feel that we need some sort of base. And so I just completed writing up the 8 modules. We will be advertising it. Dilts and I are doing a virtual generative coaching program that Richard and Oksana are sponsoring next weekend. And then we're going to launch the Creative Mind. And, we're doing that with videos, with these programs. At that point, my feeling is let's have more meetings like this and see how people would like to develop it. So I don't, it's not like you are here to illustrate my work. I don't think that would be interesting, or it's not really what Creative Mind wants to be and needs to be.
Yeah.
So that's my answer. I've got to go.
Good night.
I've
Good
got
night,
Robert and Antonio.
Robert and Antonio.
Thank you
So good to see you.
Bye, everybody.